AudioJungle.
We would like that your respective background documents can help us, based on this 20 years analysis, make a strong case for this new urban agenda, which are the essentials, the contours of this agenda, and how we can present to the world an important message to that.
In the last 20 years, some of the developed regions have actually really matured. There is no longer people moving into cities. There is a lot of starting to be shrinking cities and declining cities that are bringing completely new topics. And many of these countries already, just to take Japan, Italy, and Germany, overall population is declining. Cities will not get population growth as they did in the past.
خوشحال هستم که همکاری وسیعی رو با هابیتات با تمام توان به عنوان یک سازمان بین‌المللی با تمام شهرهای عضو مجمع در 2 سال گذشته شروع کردیم.
The technology and innovation has introduced a new dimension with respect to inequality, which is the inequality that exists between those that have access to knowledge, which is partly related to this wealth creation because those that have the access to knowledge are generating the wealth from it.
And just young artists and young activists who were looking for a home for their energy and for their ideas.
Mostly migrants in China move to the booming areas in the south, southeast China, and I understand this example is given to show the inequality issues, the exclusion of migrants in destination cities.
When we hear about inequality declining, well, that's not the case as I see it in sub-Saharan Africa. And I also see sub-Saharan African cities missing out on a lot of the wealth benefits that have been seen elsewhere and are rightly talked about in this.
But in the beginning, I think the background that's been set with this historical perspective is very important. And I'd like to suggest at the bottom of page 1, where you start talking about what the Habitat Agenda came out of Habitat 2, just a suggestion.
I mean, you've got a very interesting problem. How do you describe a 20-year period in which you're not just describing physical and social phenomena, you're describing the way we think about things, how we perceive them, how we value them, and how we understand what's going on.
If you take technology, for example, technological innovation and penetration occurs at different levels, throughout the world. And then if you now propound urban agenda that take that forward, then you are creating interregional inequalities greater than what you tend to sort of solve before.
All of that started in the 1976 Vancouver meeting. Many of these issues continue, but many new ones have developed over the last 20 years.
So, third comment on the demographic section. I think on the demographic section, first comment is that we have to avoid to focus only on megacities.
And I found many examples of the sub-Saharan Africa, but also some places where urban trends in Latin America were lumped with urban trends in Asia and sub-Saharan Africa, and I think they are completely different.
One of the protagonists is clearly civil society, people reacting to what they see. Another is local government, who felt like they needed to assert themselves. And so then we have decentralization and we have these movements, we have things like that.
One of those terribly difficult things, how do we generalize about these issues in a world that is so different in so many places?
I think we very quickly have to suggest to them that there are things they can do to make this world better, and that investing their careers, their lives, their governmental policies, their fiscal resources in cities is a really good strategy for them.
On behalf of international city leaders, I would personally like to express my profound thanks to you all for the time and effort you have dedicated to contribute your valuable perspectives and insights into this vital publication.